I think she's pretty happy that she's got a catch behind as well.
Yeah, they've got a lot of depth in this batting lineup, the Western Conference.
This will be Snig de Paul, I'm thinking. Youngster, 15-year-old from Houston.
Yeah, it's interesting as well as we round out the over to see the different versatilities in your batting lineups, to see different players coming in at different times. So another successful over for the Eastern Central Conference. The wicket of course, Mahika Kandanala, the opening batsman. It's 32 for 3. Well, my personal favorite, Julia, because of that one solitary short ball I've seen in this entire series from Geetika Kodali in the last game. She's into the attack, so Shabani Bhaskar has shown, even in that T20 encounter, she likes to change things up. Doesn't like the two in the middle, even though a new batsman's walked in, to get too comfortable to what is happening. And I think on this surface, which, as you said, has got that extra bounce, I think Kodali could be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, not quite the start that she was after, I wouldn't have thought. Very important to make sure you're ready to go ball one. But Geetika has been improving. She did have a little wrist injury earlier in the year, but she's been improving since then and has been working on her technique, getting over that front leg, just trying to be able to use that height. She's got fantastic height and can really dig it in and cause some issues for Asani Vagela the other day. Okay, just probably not using her front shoulder enough at the moment. Hasn't quite got her line right. Giving away a couple of free runs here through wides. Again, she's got a 5-4 field. I'd still really love to see her with a gully in there. At the moment, just with the backward point and slip.
She does have that field on the deep mid-wicket boundary, probably for that slog that we see in Erica Render play when it's straight on her on the stumps or on her legs. She's so effective at that shot, but I don't know if you really want to set a field to bad bowling. You want to challenge Render to hit that. You like, in terms of if you're Shabani Bhaskar with the score being 32 for 3, you wouldn't mind Erica Render playing. That's a low percentage shot.
It may, however, be for that short ball, so we may see it come out at any stage here. Oh, there's trouble here.
Mix up. Chance of a run out, should still be out and is. So not what you want if you're a Western Conference fan, because Erica Renler's the danger. And she's gone. Big wicket.
Yeah, that's poor communication from these two. They wouldn't have batted a lot together in the past, having Snig de Paul playing for Southwest and Erica Rendler playing for the West. So a big loss there for the West and a fantastic wicket from the East. Really have to work on the communication. Sindhu Sriharsha, the captain, now coming out definitely this time. And I'm sure she will stabilise this inning. She's done it quite a few times. Little out of her normal position. Normally bats 3-4. But a good time for her to come in and really stabilise this at 4 for 34 in the 10th over. Certainly not the start that the West were looking for.
Yeah, it makes for an interesting series, though, because in the last game, we had the Western Conference really dominate the Eastern Conference when they were bowling. They continued to take wickets at regular intervals. And I think for the good of USA Women's national cricket, it's fantastic to see the fight back in this third game. You can tell how much the Eastern Conference would have wanted to level this series. And the way they've started, they'll be extremely happy about their chances of doing so. So Kodali into the attack, brings a wicket.
Yeah, again, coming over the wicket, she's going to be going across that left-hander. I just think they're missing out on an opportunity here. It's and again, this comes back to, we were discussing how often these girls play in the 50-over format, and the tactics are quite different to a T20 game. Having more than one catching position in a T20 game behind the wicket is very unusual. So I think they're still a little reluctant to bring that gully in, potentially risk the ball going for 4. Well bowled. I think Nadia Cooney was pleading with Shabani Bhaskar then to appeal. She thought she'd heard a bit of a nick. But there's no avail. But I really think that they should be able to be a little more attacking, risk the ball going through that sort of backward point sort of area, but potentially taking that wicket through a catch at gully.
One thing I can say about both these teams, really, in terms of the national setup, I love the energy on display. They always are high octane, and that's not something that you tend to see from cricketers genuinely that, play, that do not get much experience to play, in the middle. And I must say credit to you, Julia, for the mentality that you've instilled in these women in terms of trying to be up for the majority of the innings each way.
Yeah, they've been really good, particularly with the sort of off and on sort of nature of the Sistar Mortgage Women's National Championships. And, the rain has caused a few issues. It is tough to switch on, switch off all the time when you're sort of coming on and off all the time. So they're doing a great job. Obviously, there's plenty at stake as well with the ICC events coming up later in the year. So our selectors are watching this closely, and we'll be picking a team after this championships to compete in that the Americas Regionals T20 Championships later in the year.
Yeah, we're going to speak about that as we continue later on today. End of the over. That's the first power play. So definitely going the way of the Eastern Central Conference. It's 34 for 4. Holly Charles continuing. And she'll want to get in the wickets column as well. Well, sorry, actually getting a wicket already, Holly Charles, so she'll want to add to her tally. I'm very excited to see Onika Wallison, especially how she bowled the new ball in the last game. This is a very good shout. Umpire not interested. That's to be Jermaine Lindo. Could have been going down leg. Bit high, but she was hit on the back leg, so Sri Harsha's got to be careful here because she will hold the key for this Western Conference. They'll want this wicket if you're the Eastern Conference and Shabani Bhaskar.
And I look at this field as well, and I think that's the first ball she's faced. Holly Charles right on the money. And Sindhu Sriharsha tries to be aggressive and pull that, but it's just on her a little quick. But I just can't see where the pressure is on Sindhu Sriharsha here with that field, other than sort of a second slip, I think that is, or 1.5. I just would really love to see some more catching positions in here. Shabani Bhaskar has immediately put someone back with that intent of that shot, which again, I just don't agree with, because I think that they've just got to be a little more attacking here. You want Sindhu Sriharsha to be trying to play that pull shot that early. Leave that open. Let her do it. So just a few little tactical changes that probably required by the East at the moment, but certainly well on top of having Western Conference 34 for 4.
There we go. Clearly the ploy. Try to use that short delivery, and I like that from Holly Charles. We haven't seen much aggression from her, but she's clearly showing she's got it in her arsenal to be able to go to that shorter delivery when her captain asks for it.
Yeah, magnificent delivery there. I mean, it's with the 5th ball that she's faced, and you don't really want to be copying those ones at your head at this stage. So great bowling from Holly Charles.
Well, this is the complete opposite. Full toss. What an effort it was at cover by Bhumika Bahairaju, trying to hold on to that one, just unable to. So Holly Charles should be disappointed. But eventful start for Sindhu Sriharsha, the captain.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was going to be called a no ball at all. She's pretty lucky to have got away with that. In fact, both batter and bowler were lucky to get away with that. So it's certainly all happening here.
It was pretty high. So Sriharsha unable to get the requisite timing, but she'll be upset that she missed out on that occasion. Of course, no fielder on the offside boundary for Sriharsha. This has been an excellent over thus far from Holly Charles. Well, to end the over, really finishing it up with a Yorker, just what you want to see. So she's been very economical. Holly Charles, just the 3 runs in her spell and the wicket to go with it. At the end of 11, 35 for 4.
Yeah, I really like this pace attack from the East. They've got some great bowlers, and obviously Gitika Kadali on it at the far end. We've got Holly Charles at this end. We opened with Moksha Chowdhury. We've got Sarah Farouk, and then you've still got Onika Wallison to come in there. So, and then you've got the spin of Bhumika Bahairaju. So a really good bowling attack, and they're certainly taking advantage of that at the moment. the West did win the toss and elect to bat on this, which I think, in fact, was the right decision. They just probably their shot selection and execution hasn't quite been spot on at this stage, but also the bowling from East has been pretty spot on.
Well, funny enough, the team batting first in all 3 games of this series won the toss. We had the West winning in the first game. Yesterday, the Eastern Central Conference won the toss, elected to bat. And, of course, today, the Western Conference. So, clearly, it tells you a lot about this surface. Much better in the morning session when the ball does come onto the bat quite nicely. She really connected with that, but straight to square leg. Sindhu Sriharshan. You know, they say in terms of batters, their initial first 10 to 20 deliveries is when they're most vulnerable. And that's what Shabani Bhaskar will be thinking. And I think that's why she's put so much confidence in the likes of Holly Charles to try and prize that wicket of Sriharsha, because we know with the experience that Sriharsha has playing for the USA Women's National Team for a number of years now, if she can get in, she can really get a big score for her team.
You can see straight away that she's trying to look for the runs. She's trying to force Snigdha Paul into finding that quick single. She does like to play behind the wicket. And again, this is where Shabani Bhaskar, who knows her very well, should be bringing in that gully to really prevent that shot, make it more of a high-risk shot instead of her being able to just run it down to third and potentially beat that backward point.
Falling out the stumps again. In terms of the communication, it's been something that probably they would want to work on, and as coach, you will probably see that. How would you go about working on that communication in terms of in the middle between the 2 batters?
Well, I think we need to start actually making sure we've got a process of the girls coming together immediately that there's a wicket, so they do go out there and we know what are you going to say to them, how's the pitch playing, where are you trying to score, and just getting them to understand better their scoring options. I'm not sure if that was a no ball, but another full toss to Sindhu Sriharsha. Plays the pull out to mid-wicket and it's run down just for the 2 runs. But yeah, they do really need to communicate immediately that you get out there. There's a lot of people just wander out there and they're just sort of in their own little world. And I think it's important that you're the only 2 people out there from the team. You need to bat as a pair. You're not batting just on your own. You're actually batting with someone else. So it's so important that you both know what's happening. The other thing is the more that they play, the more the awareness of when a single is a single and how to judge that run. I think there's a little bit of an element of some people calling other people's runs. And again, that'll come with playing more and more cricket. And this Sistar Mortgage domestic pathway structure that we've got at the moment has been really helpful in making sure that girls get plenty of cricket and plenty of games and practice in the middle.
End of the over, 35 for 4. Holly Charles, we saw a bit of her wrath in terms of with the bat in hand yesterday before the rains came for the Eastern Central Conference. She really was hitting it to all parts in that short-lived 13. And then with the ball, I really like that short delivery, Judy. I like to see these females, you know, showing that bit of extra aggression. That was the perfect line to Sindhu Sriharsha in the last over. And you can see that Shabani Bhaskar placed that fielder at deep backward square specifically for that shorter delivery. So the fact that Charles was able to go to it and execute that plan, I think it shows a lot for her consistency.
Absolutely, and I think it's a real point of difference. And previously, the women's game is a very front foot sort of game. So having someone like Holly Charles and even Giddy Kadali at the moment that can start challenging that length really makes the batters. We saw that, like I said, that Sani Vigala yesterday or 2 days ago really started to struggle with the shorter ball from Giddy Kadali. Drove beautifully on that front foot. So, and that change of length there from Holly Charles, very, very nice. Can bowl short, bowling a Yorker as well. So good bowling here from Holly Charles, keeping the batters guessing.
Yeah, Isani Vaikela, as you mentioned, another player that's a very fine player in terms of her contributions with both ball and bat in hand. We saw her open the bowling in the last game and come in at number 4 and steer the ship of the Western Conference over the line. So she's also another weapon that they've got in their arsenal still to come. A lovely shot, though, down the ground from Sriharsha. Really is a quality player. Sindhu Sriharsha would have played at the World Cup qualifiers in 2016. And I actually was looking at some of those games yesterday, Julia, in terms of when the USA women's national team would have played in those World Cup qualifiers. How much do you think playing at a big level tournament? I mean, I saw a lot of names currently in this game, the likes of Nadia Grooney, obviously Sindhu Sriharsha, Shabani Bhaskar, the captain of the Eastern Central Conference. All of these players were there. So when they're able to have those sort of experiences against quality opposition on an international stage, what does that do for them when some of the younger players come in and look to these females as that guidance?
Yeah, they certainly got a lot of confidence out of playing in that tournament. They hadn't played a lot. They probably didn't perform as well as we would have liked them to perform. But considering the amount of cricket they were getting leading up to that, that's why this pathway and the structure we've currently got is so important for these girls to continually get